The $10,000 in 4B funds would be spent on irrigation improvements, a drinking fountain, and a new fence to separate the big dogs from the little dogs. This isn't Fargo, North Dakota, but it almost looks like a snowy field here in Fargo, Texas. Now the water's knee-high, but they say earlier this morning it was chest-high. The signs on the doors here at Ashley Furniture are vague, saying simply that the Ashley Furnitures in Wichita Falls, Abilene, and San Angelo have closed temporarily due to shipping difficulties and that a buyout negotiation is in place. But customers tell us this line, saying more details as known doesn't give them much hope. Truly remarkable thing about this accident is that not only did the 18-wheeler driver survive, now the only evidence that remains of last night's terror is this memorial that's been set up for Tim. Michael Smith just called his supporters together and thanked them for everything that they have done. They in turn thanked him for running. There's just a little pool of water here, but residents tell us when it really storms, this channel often overflows and the water has nowhere to go but into their backyards. Officers found homemade weapons when they searched the annex. Right now, it's really a waiting game. Many of us said we were dreaming of a white Christmas, but firefighters say thinking back to that intense November rescue in 2008 makes this training even more applicable.
Oklahoma investigators are now going door to door in Geronimo, searching for clues that might lead them to missing 7-year-old Asia Johnson and her accused kidnapper, Lester Hobbs.
Hobbs is charged with murdering his estranged wife, Asia's mother, nearly 2 weeks ago. Katie Crosbie went back to Geronimo today, and Katie, this door-to-door effort has got to be a long process.
It is, Gwen, but they say anything they can do to get more information will be well worth it. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation sent 10 extra agents to Geronimo. Those agents are joining the U.S. Marshal's office in the search, and authorities are also using an airplane. It's like a game of hide and seek, but it could be a game of life and death.
Well, what we're doing is, it's kind of a process of deduction, and we're trying to eliminate any possibilities.
OSBI officers and U.S. Marshals are knocking on doors and searching for clues.
Well, we're asking if there's anything unusual, any suspicious behavior, if there's something missing out of their vehicle or something of that nature. And he may have tried to get some resources in order to get out of Geronimo.
But investigators say so far, as they've checked sheds and buildings, they haven't gotten any big breaks.
We are keeping an eye out on things, but we haven't seen nothing.
I appreciate them checking on us.
We've got to clear our own backyard, if you will, before we move the investigation further on down the road.
It's now been nearly 2 weeks since the alleged murder and kidnapping, and authorities say they have no confirmed sightings of the girl, the man, or the vehicle. So investigators say they have little evidence to go by besides this crime scene.
As the clock ticks, then it's not a good of likelihood that we'll be successful. Hopefully we will be.
We're going to start back at the crime scene. We're going to go over everything we've done before. We're going to leave no stone unturned.
And they're asking for everyone's eyes and ears.
Our most important avenue is the public, what they see, and being vigilant. That's our greatest ally in this investigation.
We're just hoping she's safe, but we pray for her every day.
And one reason investigators are particularly concerned is that in addition to having a lengthy criminal record, Hobbs has also served jail time for injury to a child. If you have any information about this case, you're asked to call 1-800-THE-LOST. 2 years before Roger's accident, Senator Ted Kennedy's 12-year-old son Teddy lost his leg due to cancer. Somehow the senator found out about Roger and sent him a note of hope. So you could go out and do that.
Oh, I tore it up, as a matter of fact.
Roger Jones has always been an outdoorsman, but a hunting accident on September 4th, 1977 sent his world into a spiral.
The butt of it hit the window, and I had my finger in the trigger guard, and it went off, and ended up shooting myself.
He recalls what went through his 12-year-old mind.
I can remember putting my hand over the gunshot wound because that's what John Wayne did. So I did that, and I thought, I'm not no hero. And I passed out quite a few times on the way to the hospital.
I drove like a maniac getting to the hospital, and it was quite an ordeal for about 6 weeks.
A dozen surgeries later, doctors had to amputate Roger's right leg just above the knee.
You do a lot of praying and a lot of worrying. Is he going to make it or not?
I remember a lady give me a plaque, and it had part of the Serenity Prayer on it. And I remember saying that a lot.
And then came the letter, postmarked October 3rd, 1977, to Roger Jones, care of Wichita General Hospital, room 206.
I was amazed to start with, and I thought, what a wonderful thing.
The typewritten words clearly came from Senator Kennedy's heart.
I was sorry to learn about your accident, and I just wanted to write you and let you know that you are in my thoughts and my prayers. Perhaps you would take some encouragement when you hear how well my son Teddy is doing.
At Senator Kennedy's funeral last week, Teddy remembered his dad's faith in him.
I said, I'll never be able to climb up that hill. And he lifted me up in his strong, gentle arms and said something I will never forget. He said, I know you can do it. There is nothing that you can't do. We're going to climb that hill together, even if it takes us all day.
I know that you'll meet this personal challenge with the same kind of courage and determination.
Oh, I just thought it was absolutely wonderful.
You know, it's kind of like a ray of sunshine. You know, I look back and I think about that, and I'm thinking, you know, if the Kennedy guy can do it and he can ride a go-kart and all that, you know, that it's going to be all right.
Now Roger's married with 4 kids. He says he'll never forget the senator who took the time to offer encouragement to a child he didn't even know.
I believe that it shows that he had a good heart. I think he's probably a pretty good fellow. I'd like to meet him, but maybe someday in heaven.
And Roger and his mom say they still don't know how Senator Kennedy found out about Roger's accident in the first place.
Former Montague County Sheriff Bill Keating admitted in court today that he sexually assaulted a woman last November after a drug raid. Katie Crosbie was at that hearing, and Katie, this was a federal charge he pleaded to.
That's right, Gwen. And Montague County District Attorney Jack McGoy says that state charges will also be filed next month, not just against Keating, but also against as many as 12 former sheriff's employees and some inmates.
People are human. They can mess up, but you're held to a higher standard, especially when you're elected to an office.
Those were the words of former Montague County Sheriff Bill Keating when then District Attorney Tim Cole resigned after being arrested for drunk driving. And now it's Keating who's admitting that he messed up and who's being held accountable in federal court.
This case should certainly act as a wake-up call to all individuals who hold positions of public trust, because I mean, to say it's unacceptable is light. I mean, the fact of the matter is, this is outrageous.
This is probably one of the worst examples of a public trust betrayed by a public official.
They call Keating's actions disheartening, a letdown for everyone.
As a prosecutor, I work with law enforcement every day, and you want to feel like as that you're on a team, and you want to be able to trust those individuals.
They want to make it clear that no one is above the law.
There are consequences, and those consequences are going to be harsh.
A federal judge will determine just how harsh those consequences are. And Jack McGoy says he hopes the hundreds of hours of investigative work by so many agencies will help restore public confidence.
While people I know are ashamed in Montague County of what's happened, they can also be proud of law enforcement and the fact that people are willing to work so hard to see someone brought to justice.
Justice after an admitted betrayal of trust.